Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. In this case, we're going to talk about someone who went to great lengths to kill their rival. This is a story about the murder of Kayla Hodgson. They say that some people just have a light that cannot be dimmed. Kayla Hodgson was exactly that kind of person. At just 23 years old, she was living a life full of adventure. She was a flight attendant and a bartender, known for her vibrant personality and her contagious smile. Her family just didn't call themselves relatives, they called themselves her village. She was cherished, she was protected, and she was deeply loved. But in the summer of 2022, that village was shattered by an act of jealousy so extreme, it would almost be impossible to comprehend. Kayla lived in the Tamarack Village apartments in Florida, the kind of place you choose because you want to feel safe. But on the afternoon of July 13th, that sense of safety was violently stripped away. At around 3 p.m., a frantic 911 call came in. Kayla's boyfriend, Rivelto Robinson, had entered Kayla's second-floor apartment and found a scene of absolute horror. Kayla was unresponsive, and Rivelto told 911 Kayla had a massive wound to her neck. When paramedics and deputies arrived, there was nothing they could do. Kayla was gone. The brutality of the scene was shocking, even to seasoned detectives. The medical examiner would later determine that Kayla had been stabbed 37 times. In the world of forensics, this is called overkill. It wasn't just a murder, it was total rage. For neighbors, the days following the discovery were filled with terror. They saw one of the country's largest mobile forensic units parked outside, processing evidence for days. They didn't know if a random killer was on the loose. But detectives quickly realized that this was not random. They began to uncover a digital trail of obsession. Kayla had been dealing with harassment online. She had blocked a woman on Instagram who had been sending her nasty messages. That woman was 28-year-old Sakenia Thompson. And guess what? She wasn't from Florida. She was living over 1,000 miles away in Queens, New York, the same city where Rivelto Robinson also lived. Investigators discovered that both women were entangled in a romantic rivalry involving Rivelto. Sakenia was harassing Kayla to stop seeing Rivelto. Kayla blocked Sakenia from contacting her, and Sakenia became very angry. Detectives found that Sakenia didn't just stay angry online. She boarded a plane to Florida to confront her rival. On the day of the murder, Sakenia arrived at Kayla's apartment uninvited. She would later claim that she just wanted to have a woman-to-woman conversation. But what happened inside those walls was a massacre. After the attack, Sakenia did not call 911. She didn't run for help. Instead, she tried to execute the perfect crime. She attempted to clean up the blood from the apartment, and in a chilling detail revealed later, she would take off her own blood-soaked clothes and threw it into the trash. She then went into Kayla's closet, put on Kayla's clothes, and fled back to New York. She thought she had sanitized the scene enough to get away with the crime. But she made one fatal miscalculation. In her final terrifying moments, Kayla fought back. She scratched Sakenia during the attack. So trapped beneath Kayla's fingernails were the biological evidence that would seal her killer's fate. Police will later reveal it was Sakenia's DNA under Kayla's fingernails. 3 weeks later, police swarmed the neighborhood of Springfield Gardens, New York, and took Sakenia into custody. But the drama didn't end with Sakenia's arrest. When the case finally came to trial in late 2024, Sakenia took the stand in her own defense. Her testimony was nothing short of bizarre. She claimed that she was the victim. She told the jury she was pregnant at the time and Kayla had attacked her first with a piece of broken hookah glass. Sakenia claimed she blacked out from fear and trauma, only waking up to find Kayla dead. She admitted to walking through the blood in her shoes, but claimed her failure to call police was because she was scared. The prosecution tore into Sakenia's story. They argued that you don't black out and then methodically clean up a crime scene. You don't accidentally stab someone 37 times in self-defense. And you certainly don't fly cross-country to ambush someone if you are the one in fear of your life. The jury did not buy Sakinia's self-defense story. In December of that same year, the courtroom erupted in emotion as the verdict was read, guilty of first-degree murder. Kayla's family was there, weeping tears of relief. Sakinia Thompson was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge and jury agreed that this was an act of a depraved mind. Kayla Hodgson's life was cut tragically short by obsession and jealousy. But in her final act of resistance, that silent witness she preserved under her fingernails ensured that her killer would never walk free. Justice was served, but the loss remains. As her family said, Kayla's light was too bright to ever truly be extinguished. Here's my personal commentary on this case. This is a tragic love triangle case. Revelto Robinson was seeing both women at the same time. His main chick, Sakina, was the murderer, and they both lived in New York. His side chick was the victim, Kayla, and she lived in Florida. Sakina found out that her man Revelto was seeing another woman. She then found out that that woman was Kayla and started contacting her on social media, telling her to stop seeing Revelto. Kayla ignored Sakina and then blocked her, and that made Sakina furious. She then traveled 1,000 miles to confront Kayla. Now my guess is that Sakina didn't plan to murder Kayla, but she definitely planned to beat her up to force Kayla to stop seeing Revelto. One thing everybody agreed on is that she had bad intentions, because she disguised herself by concealing her face and wearing gloves. She even used a fake Uber account to get to and from the crime scene. Once Kayla opened that door, they got into an altercation and Sakina stabbed Kayla 37 times, tragically taking her life. So think about this. Sakina drove 1,000 miles to fight for a man who was no good. Why fight for a low-quality man? He was cheating, and I'm sure this wasn't his first time. Sakina threw away her life and took the life of Kayla for a man who didn't even love her or care for her. Ladies, here's the lesson. Don't ever get into a fight with another woman over a man. If a man loves you, he would never cheat on you or put you in that position. Anytime you feel you have to compete for a man's affection, it's time to move on. Don't throw away your life for a man, because Kayla is gone and Sakina sits in jail for life, while Revelto has moved on to someone else. There are no winners here, only a tragic outcome for everyone. I feel deep sadness for Kayla and her grieving family. Let me know what you think about this case. Like and subscribe to this channel for more in-depth true crime analysis. I'll see you all in the next video. My name is Carlton, and thank you for watching.